Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining the Urban Assembly Virtual College Fair hosted by StriveScan. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is a webinar, and we do encourage you to list the institution, the school, or organization that you are asking the question to. This will help our presenters get to your questions a little bit quicker and answer those promptly for you. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for more. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/urbanassembly. We have a great lineup of presenters for you today, so without further ado, let's get started with SUNY Delhi.
Thank you for the great introduction. My name is Will DeFries. I am an admissions representative / coordinator of multicultural recruitment at SUNY Delhi. So SUNY Delhi is located in the foothills of the Catskill Mountains. We're about 2.5 to 3 hours away from New York City. With bad traffic, it can get longer. We are one of the 7 technology colleges within the State University of New York school system. So technology colleges offer you really hands-on programs. We have over 50 academic programs. Those range from 2-year programs to 4-year programs, associates and bachelors. And we also have a couple master's degree programs in nursing. From day one, you are going to be in your major. So if you're a culinary student at SUNY Delhi, you're going to be working in the lab. If you're a vet tech student, you're going to be working with the animals on and off campus. If you're a construction management student, you're going to be going off campus and building houses. These are all things you're going to be able to do without having to wait, like a lot of comprehensive colleges, which for the first 2 years, you have to do a lot of your general education classes and then go into your major. Our total student population is around 3,500 students. 1,700 live on campus, and as a freshman, you are required to live on campus. There's a bus stop right on campus, and the bus goes from Delhi to Port Authority. And the top areas students come from are New York City, Long Island, all the way up to Albany. And this is the reason why we're one of the most diverse SUNY colleges as well. We have about 45% students of color on our campus. We have a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We have 7 different residence halls, and we also have a multiple variety of dining locations on campus. We have everything from sushi to pizza. Additionally, we are NCAA Division III in athletics, and we have 19 different NCAA teams. Our sports teams are very good. I would say track and field, cross country, basketball, and soccer are our strongest. And on top of that, Delhi is a rural, small town, so we offer a lot on campus. We have over 60 clubs on campus, clubs within your major, gender-based, religious-based, multicultural. We even have a lot of unique clubs such as ski and snowboard, ice carving, where they take 100-pound bricks of ice, chainsaws, dance, radio station, and the list goes on. Some new updates to campus are our cyber operations management. If you like coding, hacking software, Bluestone Pub and Restaurant. This picture in the bottom right-hand corner is located on our 18-hole golf course. This is where culinary students get to open a full-blown run restaurant by them to the public. And our Barnes & Noble's Cafe featuring Starbucks is also probably one of the more popular hangout spots on campus. To learn more, make sure you go to delhi.edu, go to our majors, check out the student life at Delhi. But we are rolling admission for all programs except for nursing or vet sci, which means you can apply in August, and we accept until the program's full. For nursing or vet sci, you need to apply either before December 1st or February 1st to get a decision. And that is it, everyone. I hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of the presentation.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Clarkson University.
Hello, everybody. My name is Oscar Rodriguez. I'm the Assistant Dean of Multicultural Recruitment and Diversity Programs for Clarkson University. Thank you so much for being here. Clarkson University is located in Potsdam, New York. This is a picture of our campus. We're about 15 minutes north of the Adirondacks. Again, it's a small rural town if you want to go that way, but we have 4 schools in the area. So it is a big college town, a big college area, and it was beautiful. We have all the schools right here in the middle, a few acres of woods in the back, and a great school spirit, I would say. I want to talk about our undergraduate programs. This is the chemistry chairman of the department, Mr. Professor Miller, he does great classes because a lot of students go from chemistry to chemical engineering. Schools will tell you, oh, it's really easy to switch in between programs. And we say that here as well. Just remember, get good grades freshman year so you have solid grades. So if you do need to switch programs or look around more, then you're in a good spot. Clarkson, we have a School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, which is smaller than engineering, but still very strong. And so if you wanted to partake in any of these programs, they're there, they're solid, and they're also full staff when it comes to their professors, which is very nice. We have a School of Engineering. Clarkson gets a big reputation of engineering because we have 9 different programs, and all of them are accredited by ABET, which is the American Board of Engineering and Technology, and many other minors. Again, we tell our engineers you can switch in between these programs. You can even go into engineering studies, but get good grades your first year. It gives you more mobility later on. We have a School of Business with 6 different programs, and it also has the accreditation of the Associate Collegiate Schools of Business, which is great. Many of our scientists, humanities studies students, engineers, they end up getting a minor in business, and a lot of our business students end up getting a minor in the other schools, so they can really collaborate when looking for jobs and in the future. Again, the engineering school is about 60% of our campus, and then liberal arts and business school, they take the rest of the chunk. And we have a very specific institute for the sustainability of the environment. I always say, Clarkson's very strong on making money and saving the environment. You can combine both things, but they do great projects and great collaborations with many companies that also pick up our students. So you can get into environmental health, science and policy, environmental or just environmental science and policy. Yeah. We also have our pre-advising programs, which are great. As soon as you come into school, you will have an advisor that will help you get all the classes required and really pretty much guide you on the things that you can do to better your chances for graduate school. So pre-dentistry, pre-law, pre-medicine, pre-occupational therapy, pre-physical therapy, pre-physician's assistant, and pre-veterinary. This is a list of the minors that we have at Clarkson available. So we get a lot of questions like, hey, what minors can I get with psychology or with this engineering degree or vice versa? Again, you can really cross across schools if you really wanted to get a minor from the different ones. Very nice list, but if you can later on check out all of our programs, you'll be very impressed with how much we have to offer. Professional experiences, they're required at Clarkson, co-ops, internships, research, or study abroad. So by the time you're a senior at Clarkson, you will most likely be working on research with a professor, or you probably have done a co-op, a few internships, a study abroad, which looks great for looking for jobs after. And it lets you know if what you're going for a career is what you want to do. So definitely go into internships and co-ops as soon as you can. Great student life. We have many professional societies like the American Indian Society of Engineers Societies, the Lit Hispanics of STEM, Society of Women Engineers, Society of Professional Women. I'm the co-advisor for the Brother to Brother Club as well. And many social organizations and more for networking as well. A lot of religious groups that you can join. We also have a room in our student center for you to pray or meditate and practice any religion. It's very inclusive, and I think Clarkson is doing a great job on including all kinds of students. We represent about 41 states. Most of our students come from New York, but we do get students from quite a bit of places. Again, over 200 clubs, so many opportunities to get involved at Clarkson and find your peers. Again, we're out in upstate New York, so it's not like we're in the city. You're hanging out most of the time on campus, so you find your labs, the people that you have things in common. So we say social life here is very much peer oriented. And tons of volunteering opportunities in the town as well. And again, my name is Oscar Rodriguez, and I'm very honored to be here today. And please send me any questions through the Q&A box, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have new non-traditional employment for women.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. My name is Alessandra Reeds. I apologize, it's not presenting. I'm trying to click present. There we are. So we have been in this business since 1978 when NU had won the class action lawsuit against discrimination when the Manhattan area, as we know it today, was being built. They were actively excluding women from joining the union job. So since then, we have been recruiting and advocating for more women, to more gender non-conforming individuals to be of the union industry of 5 years, however, is willing to make the commute up to us. So for instance, I myself am from Westchester. I go to work every day. I know we initiative administration of the increase of infrastructure and green jobs, and trade jobs are green jobs. So for anybody interested who have students who are not really interested in post-secondary education, an alternative could be an apprenticeship. So our program is a pre-apprenticeship training program where we provide the basics of carpentry, plumbing, painting, and electrical, just to expose many people, especially women and gender non-conforming individuals, because usually given the pandemic, not only are trade jobs green jobs, it is an essential worker job. For instance, for those who need to sustain hospitals and public transportation, those are plumbers, those are electricians, those are MTA workers. So any of our community graduates have been still working and throughout this pandemic, as opposed, we're still getting I'm so sorry. I just break off.
You can start resharing if you'd like.
I apologize for that. I'm timing myself, so I have 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Correct.
All right, I apologize. Sorry, everybody. That I believe my internet is probably, not cooperating today, but we press. So to start, we just ask for anybody can join us by going to u-ny as a woman, trans, or non-binary person. They must be 18 years or older. They must have a high school diploma or equivalent, must be physically fit and able to work themselves into pushing, pulling up to 65 pounds and standing for a minimum of 7 hours. If that is something that they need to work on, we help them work on that. Document that we require is going to this transcript
All right, it looks like we're having some, there we go.
Really sorry about that. This is the first time that has happened to me in all the time we've worked remotely. I apologize for the inconvenience. Or I will just cease sharing my screen. Maybe that will help the bandwidth on my end. I apologize once again. Yeah, so what makes us special is not only are we an organization that caters to women and gender nonconforming individuals and a lot of queer folk, we are the only place that has social services on site, because not only do we want people to stay in our program, we want them to succeed in our program. We usually get a lot of people from different walks of life. So if anybody needs assistance in childcare, mental health, any kind of crisis or external crisis that might prevent them from completing the program, our social services team are there to help. And most importantly, we are the only pre-apprenticeship training program that provides employment services such as direct entrance. So after people complete the 7 to 9 weeks of our program, they will be in contact with our employment services to get them in the interview of the trade union of their choice. And one of the best things about being in a trade union worker is that you're always guaranteed a raise every single year. You're guaranteed a very lucrative and robust pension program as well, with 401ks, your insurance, things of that nature. Also, again, you'll be considered an essential worker. So thank you very much, and I appreciate having your time, and look forward to your questions.
Amazing. Next up, we have CUNY Welcome Center to discuss all the CUNY options.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Kadeem Innocent, and I represent the SUNY University of New York. I know my back screen, my background says Baruch, but I represent all of the 25 colleges within the SUNY University of New York, and I'm here to talk to you about CUNY. So, we like to call ourselves the greatest urban university in the world, and we hold that phrase really dear to us, because every time that we present to students, or a student comes into our university, we want to provide them with the best education, and that's actually a part of our mission, which is to a high quality, affordable education without hurting students' pockets. Now, what does that mean, right? I'll break it down a little bit. So $7,000 for our four-year institutions, which is one of the most affordable tuitions in the United States, and $4,800 for our two-year institutions. 65% of the students that attend the City University of New York attend tuition free, and 3 out of 4 graduate debt free. Now, that's pretty amazing. You'll be very surprised, or probably not surprised, that it's very easy to incur about $100,000 in debt when you're attending college. Now, that number may scare some students, but you think of it as an investment in yourself, right? You want to invest this money in yourself because you know you're going to get a great job, and when you get that great job, you'll be able to pay off that debt, no problem. So it's very common to have 100,000 debts, but you can be part of the 3 out of 4 students that attend the City University of New York who graduate absolutely debt free. So when you graduate, instead of you paying off debt, that first check can come directly to you, right? Another reason why we consider ourselves the greatest urban university in the world is because we're in the greatest city in the world, right? New York City, 25 colleges in the capital of the world. Here's a quick map to show you where all of our colleges are. Of course, we have a combination of 2 years and 4 institutions, and every single one of our institutions is accessible by train or bus. And because we're City University of New York, we're in the city, which means the 5 boroughs. So whatever borough you can think of, we have a community school in there, right? Because we have 25 colleges, each college has their own appeal to it, right? So we have urban campuses. Here's some pictures of Baruch, Hunter, LaGuardia, John Jay, and Medgar Evers. These are our urban campuses. But we also have the traditional campuses, the ones with the big, grass fields where students can, in the summertime or when it's warm, they can sit down and study. And here's some pictures of it. His Brooklyn College is one of them, Queens College, York, Lehman, and Queensborough Community College, right? A part of our mission is to provide exceptional education without hurting their pockets. And this is just how we explain it. One core curriculum, over 1,700 majors. That's very big. Picking a major is a major decision. We have all sorts of majors, majors specific like aviation at York College, dental hygiene at New York City Tech, and at Hostos Community College. But we also have general majors like, liberal arts and psychology, which can be found at almost all of our campuses. A part of our exceptional education, is the fact that we provide students with support networks, right? That here are some programs. ASAP is one of the programs that's only at our two-year institutions, where they provide students with money for books. They also pay a tuition, and they provide you with a Metro card. That's huge for CUNY students because 90% of the students that attend the University of New York are commuter students, which means they go from work to school back home. So providing a Metro card is big, and the ASAP program that does that. We also have SEEK and CD, which are programs that if you fit the requirements, you can enter any one of our four-year institutions without having the GPA requirement that the four-year institutions request students to have. A part of our exceptional education, although we provide programs to support students, we also have programs that challenge students, and those programs are found in our honors program. Macaulay Honors is one of the most famous honor programs that we have at the University of New York, where students are provided a $2,000 stipend, which just means here's $2,000. We don't want you to really think about different things that can affect students, especially in New York City. So they give you $2,000. You can use that for whatever you want. They also provide students with a laptop. I believe they're giving students the MacBook Air Pro now for the Macaulay Honors students. And part of the requirements of graduation in the Macaulay Honors program is they will provide you with a internship or opportunity to get an internship. So what that means is when you graduate, you don't just graduate and when you go on an interview saying, hey, hire me because I got good grades in college, but you're saying hire me because I got good grades in college and I have experience. And that's a big benefit of the honors program. At the University of New York, all the big businesses come to the City University of New York and recruit our students. Here are some of the names. You see Deloitte, HBO, Verizon, Google, Facebook. They all come to the City University of New York and recruit students. So we definitely have the connection to match your drive. And here are some notable awards that CUNY students have acquired over the years. And, at the City University of New York, we have many opportunities for students to have fun. We have study abroad programs. Unfortunately, COVID has kind of changed the way that we approach these ways to get involved. But, clubs are still there. Quick story, when I was at Baruch, am I over time?
Yeah, we do have to move on. I do apologize. Didn't want to cut you off, but we will have some time to share all of that information towards the end, but we do want to move over to University of Rochester is up next.
Hopefully everybody's able to see my screen there. Hi folks, my name is Erica Benega. I'm the Regional Associate Director for the New York Metro area for the University of Rochester. So I work with students that are coming from all 5 boroughs of New York City. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And actually, so to kind of kick us off, the University of Rochester is situated in the city of Rochester. That's roughly about 6 hours from New York City, an area of Western New York that's known as the Finger Lakes region. If you're anything like me and maybe a shuttle flight would be a little easier, that's about a 45 minute shuttle flight from JFK to Rochester Airport. And Rochester Airport is like 10 minutes from campus, so really accessible. The This is actually a picture of the River Campus. I usually describe the River Campus as sort of the heartbeat of the University of Rochester, and that's because it's home to the College of Arts, Sciences, and Engineering, which is basically all of the undergraduate programs that we offer, except for those that are offered by Eastman, which is our School of Music. That's located in downtown Rochester. It's about 10 minutes away. But also the River Campus is home to our graduate schools of business, education, engineering, several of which with which we've partnered to offer direct admission for graduate studies programs. So you can get your bachelor's and your master's. Across the street, not really visible in the image, is actually the University of Rochester Medical Center. And then next to that is our School of Medicine. We also have a partnership with them for direct admission to medical school. So that's a 4+4 BS-MD program. On the River Campus, we have about 5,500 undergraduate students, and we're primarily residential. Like 90% of our students live on campus. You do have to live on campus for your first 2 years, but students usually opt to stay just because I think that spirit of community and having access to so many resources tends to be really popular amongst our students. It's helpful to share. The University of Rochester is one of the largest employers in our region. A lot of that is because of what I described before, the medical center, but also a huge healthcare network. The various institutes and research facilities are all part of the university. And so those present wonderful opportunities for hands-on experiences for students. Usually when I'm at a college fair and I meet with students in person, which I hope is going to be really soon that we get to see you in person, I get asked, well, how would you describe a Rochester student? And there really isn't a one way, because our students are literally coming from everywhere, all different walks of lives and backgrounds. About a quarter of our students are international. They're coming from 140 countries. We have all states in the union represented. About a quarter of our students are the first in their families to go to college. So literally all those backgrounds and identities are really reflected in all the organizations available on campus for you to get involved. There are two things that I think maybe bring students together on campus. The first is there's a genuine love of learning and academic curiosity. And the second is that Rochester, we live by our institutional motto of Meliora, which is Latin for ever better. Everything that we do is for the betterment of ourselves, to lift each other up, but also for the betterment of mankind. And so helping ourselves be ever better ties in really closely with our curriculum at the university. So at Rochester, we don't have a traditional curriculum. We have an open curriculum. Usually when you go to college, you have general education classes or core classes that you have to take. Rochester doesn't have that. So if you are passionate about psychology, if you've always wanted to do business, if you love to dance, you can actually start those classes from the moment that you arrive on campus in day one. It does mean that you have the ability to chart your own course. We want students to be the kind of learners that they want to be. And so that really means giving you latitude to explore across areas of study. You're not doing it alone. We have the distinction that amongst research universities in the country, we're one of the smallest with 5,500 students. So we have a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. You have a whole network of people that are working with you. Having an open curriculum is exciting, but I know kind of overwhelming at times. So you have a network that will be supporting you along the way to make these decisions. I'm really proud to share that almost 100% of our students will participate in at least one internship. Many will do more than that. And because of the nature of the program, having so much flexibility, a lot of our students actually tend to double major. Some will have more than 2 majors at graduation. We're at heart a research university though, and we are uniquely proud of the opportunities available to undergraduate students to participate in research. Almost 80% of our students will be involved in research. I really want you to think of research though as innovation and creation. Certainly it's happening in the natural sciences, but also students that are in psychology, students that are involved in linguistics, our dancers are all involved in research. So research is an opportunity to create, and you do have the opportunity to actually get a grant to fund your own original research. It's not uncommon to graduate from Rochester having been published. We do have our own undergraduate research journal too, which is pretty amazing. On your screen, you're also seeing our application cycles and deadlines. Rochester does have an HEOP program as well, and I'm happy to answer questions about that for students that might be interested. We went test optional last year. We're gonna basically remain test optional. We meet full demonstrated financial need for students who are admitted to the university. And then I invite you to join our virtual programs. I look forward to your questions, and I'm going to toss it right back to you, Tara.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Next up, Barnard College.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here today. My name is Jade Levine, and I'm an admissions counselor at Barnard College, which is located in Manhattan. If you take the 1 train to 116th Street, that's our stop right outside of our campus. So I'm going to jump right in and just kind of get through what makes Barnard a unique institution. So these are the 4 main things that make us special. We are a liberal arts college that only serves undergraduates, and we grant Bachelor's of Arts degrees in over 50 different majors. We're a small school with about 2,600 students. We really value small classes and students getting to try lots of different things academically. We are also a women's college, which is a really big part of our identity as a community, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. We have a partnership with Columbia University, which is a large research institution right across the street from us. Barnard and Columbia students get to share a lot of different resources academically, in terms of research, in terms of clubs. And so Barnard is one undergraduate college within this larger university community. I'm not going to talk too much about being in New York City, but I want to stress that while we're in New York, we're a highly residential campus. Housing is guaranteed for all 4 years, and over 90% of our students do live in our on-campus apartments. Being in New York, I always say, like, the best job you can have in New York is being a full-time college student. I think that there's so many professional and personal opportunities you get from going to school in New York City. This is a little bit about us, lots of numbers. I know there's a lot on this page, but this information is also on our website. I just want to highlight that Barnard students are coming from all over the United States as well as internationally. About 40% of our students identify as students of color. We have a 92% 6-year graduation rate. We're really committed to student success and individual advising that helps students graduate on time. And you can see some of our popular majors here are all different types of things. Students study lots of different things at Barnard. So as a liberal arts institution, all students at Barnard are actually coming in undeclared. We don't admit students into specific major programs. You have a lot of time at Barnard. You have your first 2 years to figure out what you'd like to major in. And once you do that, your major is actually only about 1/3 of your classes. We really encourage you to take lots of different things, try new things. We have some pre-professional tracks, a pre-health track, pre-law, pre-business, which comes with kind of grad school advising to help you prepare for grad school admissions. We do really value discussion-based learning, getting to know your professors and your classmates. And research is a big part of your time at Barnard. Every student completes a senior project or senior thesis. You get the opportunity to work right with professors. Because we're an undergraduate institution, you're not competing with graduate students in any way for research opportunities or time with professors. And there's a really big focus on that undergraduate learning experience. As a women's college, we are a school that's really committed to social justice and to thinking about identity-based conversations. Students at Barnard are really excited to talk about gender and to talk about race and class and how all these things intersect in our daily lives. We really value women's leadership. 60% of our faculty are women, which is about 3 times the national average. We really value having women in leadership all around you, faculty, higher level administration. And I think Barnard is a place where students are excited to be in this empowering space and building community around identity to talk about hard topics with each other. So we do have this partnership with Columbia University. We have a shared course catalog, which means that Barnard students and Columbia students can take an unlimited number of classes at both schools. So even though we're a small school, you have access to over 7,000 undergraduate courses. You have access to over 500 clubs and activities. And students who play varsity sports at Barnard play in the Ivy League Athletic Conference, NCAA Division I athletics at Columbia. We do also have intramural and club sports for students who want to play sports, but maybe not at that high varsity level. We have an office on campus called Access Barnard that is kind of a one-stop shop for mentoring, financial support, and networking for students who identify as first generation in their family to college, low income, and/or international students. They supervise our Fly at Barnard programs, which provides this peer mentorship and extra advising for students who hold these identities. And they also kind of oversee our HEOP and C-STEP programs. So we do participate in those two opportunity programs for students who are residents of New York State. I'm going to quickly touch on admissions and aid. So we have a holistic admissions process, which means that we're going to ask you to submit the Common App, the Coalition App, or the QuestBridge app, and ask you to submit lots of different pieces. We are test optional for the next 2 years for students who will be applying in the next 2 years. You don't have to send us test scores if you don't want to. And just to briefly touch on financial aid, we are need blind when we consider applications from US citizens and permanent residents. We meet 100% of your demonstrated financial need, and all of our aid is need-based. We're not giving any merit or talent scholarships. And yeah, some next steps, you can check out our website, barnard.edu/admissions. You can email us at admissions@barnard.edu. And we also have Zoom chats where you can talk to current students that you can sign up for on our website. So that's all from me. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, looking forward to your questions.
Thank you so much. So now we have a little bit of time left over to head into a round robin. So I'd love to get our presenters to join me back on camera. And we'll start in the order of which you presented. So the first question would be, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process or post high school? I recognize there's people here who provide a wide variety of opportunities. So maybe speak to that a little bit as well. And we'll start with SUNY Delhi.
The advice I would give when you're going through the college search process is make a list of your schools that you are fully confident you're going to get into. It could be a community college, it could be an Ivy League, but make a list of those 3 schools, then make a list of 3 reach schools, maybe some dream schools that you're not sure if you're going to get into, and then make a list of 3 that are in between. With that, you should also think about 3 things you're really looking for in college, and every student's going to vary. Some are going to be academics first, others are going to be financial first, others are going to be diversity, but make a list of 3 things. And if a college doesn't at least meet 2 of those, maybe you should look at another school that better fits you.
Thank you so much. Clarkson University. You're muted, Oscar. Oscar, you're muted. Or your sound isn't working. So we'll go to Alessandra from New.
Thank you. It's a great question. So advice as a person who got out of college just a few years ago, I would say definitely always have backups. It's really difficult to know what you want to do for a living as a teenager. I understand that, but sometimes it's about the experience of college. I went into college for a liberal arts degree as well. And then I ended up in a nonprofit because that's just where my career path led me. And I'm very proud of the work I did back then. If you're worried about affordability, there's always great to go to community colleges for your first 2 years and then transfer somewhere else. Always do a lot of research for any scholarships that you might qualify for, that you can always get extra money in your hand for your tuition. Also, it's okay if you're not interested in going to an academic pathway right away. As I've mentioned before, there are trade school options, vocational schools that pre-apprenticeship programs like New that are here to help you get access a career path almost right away. And we're just here to always ask for services, always research for services that you think you might need, and always try to be as positive as possible, because especially if you're trying to find all your other schools and figure out which one you're going to, a rejection letter may come in once or twice, and it's okay. It doesn't remove any value you have as an individual, as a student, as a contributor of society. You're still great, and the fact that you're on this career path and you're trying to make good decisions, that's enough.
Thank you so much. CUNY Welcome Center.
Yes, kind of just expounding on what, is your name Alessandra? Yes, Alessandra was saying, my advice would be, don't rush into a major just because the major may sound good or professionally, it may look good on a resume. It is pretty hard for a 17 or 18-year-old to figure out what they're doing for the rest of their life, right? So I have a lot of students going into college saying, oh, I want to, be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. But don't be scared to be undecided or undeclared, right? College is about an experience, and it doesn't matter what major you pick. All students have to fulfill a general education requirement, which consists of like math, English, sociology, psychology, philosophy. And these general education requirements can take up to 2 years to fulfill. So while you're in those classes, you're going to be in classes with, students that are seniors, juniors, freshmen like yourself, and you could be conversing with them like, hey, what are you doing? What are you majoring in? And you can be learning about different employment paths without being distracted from your graduation path because you're fulfilling your general education requirements. Now, I believe when you become a junior, you have to declare a major. So by then, those 2 years, you would have developed enough information for you to make a concise decision on what you want to major in. And then you can get into what we call your core requirements. So don't let your parents kind of make you feel like you have to pick this major because at the end of the day, they're not going to be the ones waking up, going to a job that they hate every day just because of the name, right? So make sure if you know what you want to study, that's great. But if you don't know, be undecided, be undeclared, and it's absolutely fine.
University of Rochester.
I totally want to underscore what Kadeen just said, because I think there's a strong misconception that you have to know what you need to do or want to do for the rest of your life when you go to college, and that's absolutely not true. But then to add that we're going through an extraordinary, challenging time that's testing all of us, and I think as difficult as it's been, colleges and universities have actually done a lot to be even more available than we have been in the past. I'd argue that virtual programming has actually extended so many opportunities for students to connect, not just with us in the admissions office, but with other people on campus that perhaps before would not have been available to you. And so I want to encourage students out there, whether or not you have a complete list, to start maybe taking advantage of some of those opportunities and connecting with folks on different campuses so that you can start navigating maybe the things that you love and the things that you don't love. And feel free to reach out to us as a resource. We want to be able to help you along the way.
Barnard College.
Yeah, I agree with everything that people have been saying. I think definitely ask a lot of questions. That's what all of the staff members in admissions offices are here for. We want to hear from you. You can email us. We are really here to support you through your college search process. And if you decide that our school is not, I'll speak for Barnard at least, if you decide that Barnard's not a great fit for you, that's okay. I don't mind. I'm here just to help you with your college search process and help you find a school that does feel good for you and is a good fit. I would also say, don't apply to schools just because your friends are applying to them. Make sure that they're schools that you actually are excited about or career paths that you do want to pursue. And the last thing I would say is it's important to keep track of deadlines. I know it's really complicated with every school having different deadlines, different requirements, but trying to stay organized is going to make you feel more calm and in control over the whole complicated college search process.
And let's go back to Clarkson University and see if Oscar, if you're No, okay, all right. Unfortunately, but thank you, Oscar, for your presentation earlier. And I want to thank our wonderful presenters today. Some of them with the May 1 deadline coming up, it's a very busy week for many of our presenters. And I just want to wish you the best of luck in there. And thank you for your knowledge and sharing your expertise with folks today. And thank you for tuning in. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. There is one more group of sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for more. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/urban assembly. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.